Why did the world's most valuable tech company hand over $3 billion to a rap legend and a music mogul? It wasn't about the plastic hardware. It was about street cred and a streaming secret weapon. Discover how Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine hijacked the tech industry to keep Apple cool. At first glance, Apple buying Beats looked ridiculous. $3 billion? For a headphone company? A lot of people thought Apple had overpaid massively. But the headphones were never the real reason. What Apple was really buying was influence. Because by the early 2000s, Apple had a serious problem. Years earlier, Apple completely changed the music industry with iTunes and the iPod. People stopped buying CDs and started buying digital songs instead. And for a while, Apple dominated music. But then the industry changed again. Streaming arrived. Instead of buying songs one by one, people wanted unlimited access to millions of tracks instantly. And companies like Spotify were moving fast. Suddenly, Apple looked behind. The company that once revolutionized music was struggling to adapt to the future of music. And one of Apple's biggest weaknesses became obvious. It understood technology better than it understood culture. Spotify wasn't winning because of hardware. It was winning because it understood listeners, artists, playlists, trends, and music discovery. Apple had engineers, but the music industry ran on relationships. And nobody had better relationships than Jimmy Iovine. For decades, Jimmy Iovine had been one of the most connected people in music. He worked with artists like Bruce Springsteen, U2, Eminem, and many others. He wasn't just a producer. He was a bridge between artists, labels, and executives. And alongside him was Dr. Dre, not just a legendary artist, but a cultural icon. Together, they had built Beats into something much bigger than headphones. Beats had become a lifestyle brand. Celebrities wore them, athletes promoted them, musicians loved them, and more importantly, the music industry trusted them. That trust was incredibly valuable to Apple. Because behind the scenes, Apple was struggling with licensing deals and artist relationships. Negotiating with record labels was complicated. Launching streaming services was complicated. Getting exclusive releases was complicated. The music business wasn't just about technology. It was politics, relationships, influence, and trust. And Apple didn't naturally fit into that world. But Jimmy Iovine did. He could walk into rooms Apple couldn't. He could speak the language of artists in a way Silicon Valley executives couldn't. That completely changed Apple's position in the industry. Instead of being a tech company trying to understand music, Apple suddenly had insiders, and that mattered immediately. After the acquisition, Apple began securing stronger relationships with major artists. Big exclusives started appearing on Apple Music. Artists promoted Apple launches, major musicians collaborated directly with the platform, and Jimmy Iovine became one of the key architects behind Apple Music's strategy. In many ways, Apple wasn't buying Beats, it was buying access. Access to artists, access to labels, access to culture, and perhaps most importantly, access to credibility. Because music companies didn't fully trust tech companies at the time. Many artists saw Silicon Valley as cold and corporate, but Beats felt different. It felt connected to actual music culture. That made the transition easier, and Apple needed that badly. Especially because streaming wasn't just becoming important, it was becoming the future. Every year, fewer people were buying music downloads. Streaming numbers exploded, and Apple knew if it failed to adapt, it could lose its position in music entirely. So the Beats acquisition became more than a purchase. It became a transformation. Apple slowly evolved from a company that sold music technology into a company trying to shape music culture itself. That's a massive difference. Before, Apple built devices for music. Now, it wanted to influence how music was discovered, promoted, and experienced. And Jimmy Iovine pushed that vision aggressively. He believed music should feel emotional, human, and curated, not just algorithmic. That philosophy influenced Apple Music heavily. Instead of focusing entirely on data-driven playlists like Spotify, Apple tried emphasizing artist identity, exclusives, radio shows, and human curation. Whether it fully succeeded is debatable, But one thing is undeniable. The acquisition helped Apple stay relevant during one of the biggest shifts in music history. And over time, the deal that once looked ridiculous started making much more sense. Because Apple didn't just buy headphones, it bought a gateway into the entertainment industry. A shortcut into relationships that would have taken years to build organically. And in industries driven by influence, relationships can be worth billions. Today, Apple Music is one of the largest streaming platforms in the world, and the Beats brand still exists inside Apple's ecosystem. But perhaps the biggest impact of the acquisition was invisible. It changed how Apple saw itself, not just as a technology company, but as a company capable of shaping culture. And in the modern world, that kind of influence may be even more valuable than technology itself. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It really means the world to me. And if you ever want to shop on live auctions for anything you want, click the link down below to get $15 free on Whatnot.